Hi, welcome to Rajalnet. Today we are going to discuss about the feasibility study. As you know, feasibility study is essentially important when being a business analyst. Whenever we are trying to understand the project acceptance, of course, this is not something only relating to business analysis. Even for the project management team or people who are working on the possibilities of application development, then feasibility study is essentially important. So this feasibility study especially helps to achieve the objectives of the business from the customer perspective, because every customer have their own objectives to achieve in order to understand the requirements of the project, all that, by understanding all that. So objectives of the business, to achieve objectives of the business, what customer wants, this feasibility study will be helpful for us. At the same time, not only that, it will be used to meet the expectations of the stakeholders. Whatever the stakeholders' expectation in reference to the application output itself is concerned, this is being used for that. At the same time, possibility of predicting what could be the outcome, possible outcome we are going to provide, so that we'll have an idea over the quality of the output we are giving. So based on that, whatever the better improvements and all, everything can be done here. So predicting of outcomes is also helpful. At the same time, increasing the probability of success rate, where having a clarity of what it exactly it was. At the same time, if you know about the ground realities, it is more helpful for us to make it successful. Not only that, it deliver the acceptable product on time. Whatever the product are we going to deliver, that will be delivered on time itself. This is also essentially important. Along with that, it provide resolution to the issues. What are the issues we have identified so far? The resolutions can be provided. Along with that, it closes all the risk on time. Whatever the risk is being identified, this risk may be of anything. Either it could be a schedule risk, budget risk, operational, technical, and regulatory risk, all that. So all these risks can be identified here. Along with this, we can optimize the resources based upon the kind of resource level, and as well as to make it more smoothing, so that you can optimize the resources in a more comfortable manner, so that without having any hassleness, all that. Along with this, it execute the project towards the success, as I mentioned earlier. Followed by this, if there is any kind of changes and all, everything will be taken place in near times by following the change control procedures. All these things will also be helpful when we are doing the feasibility study. At the same time, last but not least, managing the triple constraints, where we need to follow here. So this is where generally feasibility study is really helpful for any application development, especially for the role of a business analyst or a project manager. So these are the things which are helpful when we are working on the project. Now, there are different feasibility studies we have. We have 5 types of feasibility studies. So one is legal feasibility, which performed and understand about the kind of procedures and all everything, followed by the kind of legal and as well as ethical requirements to be required to follow when we are developing an application. When you talk about economic feasibility, it majorly focusing on the kind of cost which is involved in it and how financially are we going to benefit out of this. Along with this, technical feasibility majorly focusing on the kind of application, what exactly it was earlier. And when you are going to develop a new application and all, how technically feasible is this with the existing infrastructure? Or else is it possible for us to develop a new application or changing the infrastructure as separate? For that, what kind of cost as well as technical complexity which is involved in it, followed by the effort? All these things comes under technical feasibility. Next, operational feasibility, majorly focusing on to understand the proposed system to solve the problem, as which is something connecting to the technicalities of the project. Last but not least, scheduling feasibility, majorly focusing on the duration of the timelines of the project, because sometimes client wants to deliver the project in very less time sometimes. So how to deliver the project and what are the different phases do we require to follow? Because nowadays, if you see agile environment wherein we are following, where project will be delivered in the release ways, right? Release 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So this is what generally we call it as scheduling feasibility. So these are the 5 types of feasibility studies, which is essentially important for any business analyst when they're trying to understand about the requirements, or when they're trying to understand about the objectives of the business. Of course, not only for a BA, even a project management team who is involving actively in the application development. So those people also require this feasibility study. So this is all about the feasibility study. If you have any questions regarding this, followed by any training needs, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you. Bye.